Bears' attack has led to a perfect 12-0 regular season mark. Like the Bears, the Springfield Chiefs have a balanced team. They relied on the defense to carry them through an outstanding season. Using their swarming defense and very solid goaltending, Springfield has allowed only 7.5 goals per game on their way to an impressive record of 11-2. One of those defeats came at the hands of the Bears in an early season matchup when the two teams collided on a frigid spring day. Both of these teams have reached the pinnacle. Today, they meet once again in a classic confrontation of overpowering offense against stifling.
New York Tech won 14-9, and we look for an equally close game today, as the two teams are well prepared for this game.
Right, a couple of quick words about that first game, Tom. Like you said, it's the second week of the season for the Bears. It was the third game for the Chiefs. In that game, Mike Bessio, number 22 for the Bears, had 7 points, outstanding performance. And another big thing to mention is the 19 penalties given up by the Chiefs. They were down one man most of that game. And Coach Tom Bugby said that's crucial to today's performance. They have to play 6-on-6 in the offensive zone to have a chance to beat the Bears.
Yes, that's very true, Brian. Because they were in the man advantage so many times, New York Tech enjoyed 50 shots on goal day versus 28 for Springfield College. So that's a significant difference when you're talking about ball control and tempo of the game. And New York Tech loves to fire up the shots, and that's why they average almost 18 goals a game.
That's right. They do an outstanding job pressuring the goalie. And the goalie for the Chiefs, Sean Quirk, his save percentage at 67 on the season. So that's outstanding. He will be challenged today. But back to that game earlier in the season, the one bright spot for the Chiefs was Nick Savastano, netting 5 goals for Springfield.
Yeah, Nick had a significant day shooting. All his shots were right on cage, as he shot a high percentage. But the Springfield, is going to be better off today now that Bob Felt is back on him. Their coach said that he couldn't underestimate Bob Felt's absence the last game. And plus, with the bad weather in New England, they didn't get that many practice days outside.
That's right. They weren't all that familiar with the Bear zone game. Let's touch on today's game now while we have a moment, as the PA announcer continues with today's lineups. Couple of injuries we should check on real quickly. New York Tech crucial to their performance today and their success. Peter Doyen, their star attackman, he's 50-50 coming into today's game. He's their second leading scorer, and they're going to need him on the field to have a chance today, Tom.
Yes, he was hurt in last week's game against CW Post. A victory for New York Tech, obviously, as they're undefeated still. But his shoulder was hurt in such a fashion that he could barely lift it earlier during the week. He showed steady improvement during the week, and I believe that he went to a doctor's appointment yesterday afternoon after Tech had their light practice to get clearance. So we're going to see how effective he is today.
There's Pete right there, just being announced into the game.
And if you notice on Pete's shoulder there, he's fitted on his right shoulder. He's fitted with a form-fitting brace by team trainer Dean Kamvakis, who designed that brace in accordance to the injury. So Doyen is looking for a big game, and he certainly is an integral part of their offense.
That's right. So a big game today on hand at the CW Post campus of Long Island University in Brookville. We see the fans eagerly awaiting the start of this NCAA Division II championship game. Once again, the Bears 12-0 on the regular season, and the Chiefs 11-2, an outstanding season. The Chiefs, after they lost that game to Tech in the second week of the season, they ran off 10 straight victories. There we see the standings in the Division II bracket of the NCAA. Springfield right behind New York Tech the whole way, and CW Post at 7-5, ranked at number 3. So some outstanding teams in Division II.
Yes, Springfield actually enjoyed a victory against CW Post here at this very field. So they are familiar with Hickox Field here at the CW Post campus.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Tom, that game against Post, because talking to Coach Tom Bugby, he said that's the type of game Springfield has to play. A 6-5 win over Post is the type of game they want to get into with the Bears. They do not want to have a shootout with the Bears, because obviously the Bears possess outstanding firepower on the offensive front.
Okay,
so if
we'll
the
pause
defense,
for our national anthem.
can step up, we'll see a fine game here today.
Following the umpire, Mr. Jim Pagano, the field judge, Mr. Scotty Boyle, and the chief bench official, Mr. Jim Bateman.
Okay, Tom, just about on the way here
Always wait.
for this Division II National Championship game. A quick word about the face-offs.
Okay.
Muley and Mark Terrio. Tell us a few things about Terrio.
Yeah, Mark Terrio for Springfield College uses an awkward hand grip, actually. He's got two hands front forward on the stick, and they're very close together. New York Tech had problems with them the last time these two teams met, as Springfield College won 23 of the 31 face-offs in that game, and 75% of the face-offs, you're going to control a lot more of the game. So that was one area of the game where Springfield actually could control the flow, but New York Tech is looking to counteract that with Gerard Muley and Nick Torrey.
That's right. Another thing you want to mention about face-offs is obviously ground balls, and that's Eugene Goodrich's main thing. You see Eugene wearing number 1. We're getting set to begin. The Bears in the yellow and blue will go from right to left on your screen.
And that's Kevin O'Brien that we have a shot of right there.
And the Chiefs in the maroon will go in the opposite direction to start us off here in the first quarter of this Division II National Championship game.
And number 13 on your screen right there was Terrence Vetter, and this is Gerard Muley squaring off against Mark Terrio.
So we see Muley way down low. He's going to try to use his power to offset Terrio's unorthodox grip on the stick. So we'll see how this works out for Muley and the Bears.
And in speaking with him yesterday, he's either going to try to keep it in close and take it himself or rake it to Goodrich.
So Terrio wins the draw, and the 12th NCAA Division II National Championship game is underway. Bob Felt, I should say, on the far wing now, brings it in the offensive zone for the Chiefs. That's Jared Smith in the corner. He'll come up top to Savastino, who had, as we said, a perfect game in that first meeting, 5 goals for the Chiefs. And now near side, they come. That's Jared Smith behind the net.
Tech is in the zone here.
Stripped nicely by that Tech zone, so Tech will come back the other way. That's Eugene Goodrich. And now Doyen with the injured shoulder.
Beautiful.
That injured right shoulder, that is his shooting side, so we'll see how Peter does when he goes to the cage. Right now the Bears slowing it down. And now Muley in the middle. Muley to the cage. The shot. That's deflected off the top, and that's going to go over the...
That good shot by Gerard Muley. He had a lot of from left to right sweeps in the first game, and he scored on those a couple of times in the first game. Springfield College is opening up in a man-to-man defense versus New York Tech's zone defense the first time down. So we have two contrasting styles already.
So a quick strike by the Bears. And Quirk turning Muley away with the shot high. So now the Bears with McManus will take it in.
Terrence Venner has the shoelace undone, and he was trying to get some time there, and the ref said no way.
And now McManus moves in. The shot on the ground. Again, that's deflected. And Quirk makes the save. Quirk, as we said, 67 is the save percentage, so that's a fine number for the Springfield goalie. And now far side Felt loses his footing, and the ball is picked up by the Bears and Muley now. Muley comes in. He's pressured by Klepacki. Nice hit by Felt, stripping the ball, and now the ball's loose, and it looks like Felt will come away with the ground ball. Captain of the Springfield squad moves into the offensive zone, goes left. He looks for a teammate, cannot find. He's pressured, but look at the zone there, Tom. 3 men on him, and it's stripped nicely by the Bears on the far side.
Yeah, Springfield was changing defense-offense players over there, so Felt had no break on that shot right there.
So now the Bears will come back the other way with the Arante and Hutchinson. That's Bessio stripped, and he cannot find the handle as Jared Smith picks up the ground ball. So 2 quick ground balls for the Chiefs. That's another one as Smith lost the handle originally, and now it's loose on the far side. Looks like Jared Smith once again. He's bumped by Muley, and Smith can't find a handle that time as a whistle is blown. Looks like an offsides.
Yeah, possession offside, so the ball just goes over to Tech. There's no penalty for that. Only a penalty on offsides if you do not have possessions.
So possession violation against the Chiefs, and now Tuttle comes way out.
We're
The
not
clearing
using the
goalie
lights
is
in
Tim
the
Tom.
booth right at all.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
one of the best in the
Okay,
nation at it. As
Setting
he
up
throws,
his offense.
excuse me, Brian, as he throws the long outlet passes, but that's not the situation here.
And it's picked off by the Chiefs. That's Klepacki.
Liam Sullivan, number 18, with the interception.
And now the Bears find the handle. Muley once again will move in. He's pressured by Klepacki, and Sullivan puts a nice hit on him. Muley still controls, and it looks like a flag as our official has spotted a foul.
Cross-checking on number 16 on Springfield, so that's John Klepacki. So he'll be in the box for 1 minute, and Tech will enjoy their first man up of the day.
11:52 to go in the first quarter. We're just on the way here at the Brookville, on the CW Post campus in Brookville. The Bears now move into the offensive end with the man-up advantage. Terrence Vetter at the top. He'll pass to Muley, and now in the corner, the big man, Michael Bessio, leading his team in scoring. Now the Bears turn it over as the Chiefs gain possession. And that's going to be a whistle on Bessio as he flagged his man with his stick. So now
Bessio's out with the hit to the head. That was first man-up situation for Tech was very sloppy. Terrence Vetter usually plays behind the goal, but in man-up situations, they put him out in the point. And on this cut-through, he and Bessio got crossed up on where to go afterwards, so that led to that turnover.
So now the Chiefs will move it along. You said, Vetter, you're right. He does great work behind the net. 45 assists on the season. That led his team. He also
I
led the
heard you.
team in scoring with
We're putting off
78
the first interview.
points. That's a new record. Michael Bessio right behind him with 77 for the season. So now the Chiefs, they'll move in. Jared Smith, again, pressured by the zone.
And the penalty's released.
And now Felt will control as he tries to set up the offense for the Chiefs. They move it around well, try to get a good look at the cage. Once again, from behind, Felt in front. He's pressured by O'Brien. Nice work by the long stick O'Brien. And now right in front, more pressure as it's stripped, and Tulloch comes away with it. So good defense that time by the Bears, turning away the Chiefs. They try to clear. That's a Rate.
And they're working on those long passes yesterday at practice all day.
They do a nice job clearing, and now Bessio. Bessio to the cage. The shot, that's deflected wide, but on it quickly are the Chiefs.
Tech with the classic man ball. Vetter went after the man, and Bessio went after the ball, but they didn't come up with it there.
So it's over the end line, and it looks like it will be the Bears' possession, Tom.
As Terrence Vetter checked the ball out of Springfield's stick over there.
Springfield playing a man-on-man type of defense. Have outstanding speed on the defense. Coach Tom Bugbee wants quick speed. You need quick speed, and you need good athleticism to stay with your man. You also have to be a smart player, and that's what these Springfield Chiefs are. They're smart. They don't lose their man in the offense. So now Vetter from behind, where he is lethal. Finds Muley. Now Muley again, hounded by a couple of defenders. And now Goodrich with a ground ball. That's his thing. He's stripped, however, by Felt. Nice job by Felt. And the Chiefs will bring it back the other way.
And the classic fast break setting up.
Right in front, Police finds a teammate, and that's a score. As Mark Anastas puts it in. Off the assist from Paul Police, and the Chiefs, with 9:47 to go in the opening quarter, take a quick 1-0 lead. Tom, Springfield strikes first.
Yeah, that was a great fast break. They had the numbers on New York Tech. Usually the last two times down field, shall I say, the Springfield College has been changing on the fly, and they've taken their defensive middies and brought their offensive middies in on the fly there. But on that break, everybody came right down the field. They had the numbers, and they worked the ball around well against New York Tech.
So nice job by the Chiefs, as Tom said, moving it around, getting a good look at the cage on the fast break, and now Muley and Terrio on the face. That time Goodrich will come away with the draw. That's not Goodrich, that's O'Brien, and he loses the handle. He picks it up again, tries to scoop the Muley, but that eludes Gerard, and now far side, it's picked up by Bessio. Bessio will bring his stick into the offensive end. He's pressured there by Terrio. Still Bessio controls in the corner now. He's got Vetter behind the cage, and now Bessio, pressured by strong defense, tried to cross it, could not find a teammate, and now near side, it's picked up by the Chiefs. Ball's loose again, however. Now Doyen will come away with it. He scooped it off the grass initially. Still loose, far side. Now Bessio on it for the Bears. Bessio controls, took a hit by Klepacki, but eluded him. And now Bessio moves into the offensive end. He'll slow things down as the Chiefs, once again, set up man-to-man defensively.
Isolation
Bessio is
on that
guarded
side.
by Keith Flanagan, their best player. Sorry, Tom.
Okay, isolation for Bessio on the left side. And
Here's
goes all the way
Bessio to the
around and
cage.
touches
Deflected nicely by Quirk. That's a violation against Bessio as he stepped into the crease.
Yeah, when he took off before he released that shot, the last step he took was a chalk dust cloud flying
Just
into the
landed
air.
in, you're right. Just landed onto the line. So now the Chiefs will gain possession, and now Mark Anastas moves in. He passes in front, deflected nicely by Tuttle. Tuttle that time, all alone with Anastas, made a nice save.
Should have bounced that one for the
That's right.
goal.
He had a good look at the cage. He elected to pass up. So now far side, the Chiefs are going to lose it out of bounds. No, they keep it in as Hutchinson pressures for the Bears, and Goodrich once again with the ground ball. What can you say about Eugene Goodrich? 141 ground balls.
Yeah, he's all over the field all season long for New York Tech.
So now Terrio, he's pressured by Goodrich and Hutchinson, and Anastas will move in on the far side once again. He finds Smith. Smith moves to the cage. The shot goes wide, and that'll go over the end line. So the Bears will gain possession on the near side with a 1-0 lead for the Springfield Chiefs.
The Chiefs had another mini fast break going on down there. They had the numbers with just one Tech defenseman back with Tuttle, with 3 Springfield Chiefs hanging around the cage there. But Tuttle came out of the cage and cut off the angle on Smith to make him shoot it wide.
Okay, so now the Bears will try to clear O'Brien, Tuttle, and Arante back for the Bears.
As we got a look at Smith and then Kevin O'Brien.
And now Tuttle comes way out. Tuttle, an outstanding clearing goalie. We'll get a look at him pass up now and go to Arante. Now Arante far side. Goes back to Tuttle. Tuttle now all the way at the midline. Goes to O'Brien, and O'Brien loses it. So the Chiefs that time will pick it up off sloppy play by the Bears as the Bears change up. They trail 1-0 with 7:18 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, this is kind of one of the reasons why Springfield keeps teams to under 8 goals a game, is because they have this delayed kind of pressure on the ball. They have man-to-man, but they don't force. Tuttle threw that away as an unforced error.
Okay, so now Nick Savastano will move in. He wears number 31 for the Chiefs. He finds Paul Police. Tries to find a teammate, but no connection made, and now the ball is loose. Comes out to Doyen. Doyen cannot pick it up, and now far side, the Chiefs control, and Paul Police now will bring it over the restraining line. Now near side, he's pressured by O'Brien. Paul Police with a spin move now, finds a teammate, and now Bob Felt at the top, finds Terrio. Terrio, the shot on the ground, deflected nicely by the Bears, and then eventually kicked aside by Tuttle, so the Bears turning away Bob Felt and the Chiefs, but now looks like a violation against the Bears as Springfield will control the ball far side.
Yeah, that's Jared Smith. I didn't see what the referee said, so Smith takes the ball from the right restraining line.
Okay, so Jared Smith slowing things down for the Chiefs. Now he moves in for the attack. He goes on the ground. Nice save by Tuttle.
Way to stay
on the
down.
ground. Goodrich picks it up off the ground once again, and now he'll go behind his own net. And the Bears try to get it out. O'Brien with the long stick on the far side. He's pressured by Paul Police, who's an outstanding attackman. Police tries to push his man out, cannot. And O'Brien moves it in as Vetter now will go in his familiar position behind the opposing cage. Vetter now comes to the side, tries to find O'Brien, who's all the way down the field for the Bears. He cannot, and now the Bears will lose possession on the near side.
Tech will retain possession.
Oh, looks like
As
Chiefs
Kevin
touched it on the way out, huh?
Well, it's a shot on goal. Once it's a legitimate shot, then whoever is closer to the ball when it goes out of bounds will retain possession now.
Okay, so
Kevin
I thought it was
O'Brien's
a
hustle.
pass.
Kevin O'Brien's hustle beat Quirk to the sideline there.
Okay, so now Vetter with Bessio to his left. He finds Bessio, but Bessio cannot grab the ball, and it's out of bounds, and it's going to be the Chiefs' ball. As the Chiefs move up, that's Keith Flanagan, their best athlete. It's interesting to note Keith Flanagan, a good defenseman, will be on Mike Bessio all afternoon, so probably the 2 best players on each squad facing off against each other today. So now the Chiefs move in, and Anastas once again, that one goes over the crossbar and out of bounds, so Nice shot by Onassis, putting a lot of pressure on Tuttle early in the first quarter. 5:54 to go, 1-0 lead for the Chiefs, Tom.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of looks inside, and Tech prides itself in packing its zone defense in to eliminate that.
Okay, so Jared Smith once again, Onassis again, finds teammate in front. That time the shot hits the back of the net. Our fans thought it was a score. It was not, however, so Arante now near side tries to bring it out. Felt takes a nice swipe, strips Arante, and Felt gets the ball. Nice play by Bob Felt. Chiefs captain and the senior in his last year with the Chiefs definitely wants to win here today with an opportunity to win a national championship in his last year as the Chiefs lose the ball on the near side.
Yeah, Felt is making his presence felt, if you'll pardon the pun, as he's all over the field today, picking up loose balls and leading teams on his team on a fast break a couple of times. And the flow of the game, with only one goal in the first almost 10 minutes gone by now, is definitely going to Springfield's way. New York Tech would like to get more shots on goal, but Springfield is the team that's working it inside.
Okay, we have 5:23 to go in the opening quarter. We're very pleased you've decided to spend a portion of your afternoon with us here on CW Post. Brian Evie along with Tom Judge as the Bears trail 1-0, but they had their star midfielder Gerard Muley moving in with the shot and the score. That's going to knot it up at 1-1 with 5:06 to go in the first quarter. Muley, unassisted, moved into the Springfield defense by himself and put the shot up into the far side. So nice pressure by Gerard Muley.
Yeah, Muley again going to that right sweep, but off the spin move, put it high past the goalie's stick side, which was a surprise because I thought that was going to go right into the goalie's stick, but he got it up high enough. And Muley is a powerful individual. I spoke to him yesterday afternoon, and he's definitely a lean, strong individual.
So the Bears putting one through the cage, tying it up at 1. Just over 5 minutes to go, opening quarter. And now the Chiefs control the face-off. Far side now, Jared Smith, he's pressured. He goes to Felt across, and Felt puts it into the left of Tuttle. Nice job by Bob Felt, once again putting the Chiefs up 2-1 with 4:48 to go in the opening quarter.
Yeah, so Smith came down and saw Felt left alone just 15 yards away from the cage, and you can't leave an All-American that close, wide open, and Felt drilled the left-handed shot right past Tuttle's stick side. So the goalie's getting beat. Both on the stick side there. I'm just surprised. My voice.
A little squeaky there.
Yeah,
Tom.
yeah, it went up because the goalie's getting beat on stick side. I was expecting the teams to be able to be a lot stronger than that. But nevertheless, the score is now 2-1 as Springfield is dictating the flow of the action, getting inside New York Tech's defense. So there's a timeout on the field.
Springfield Chiefs strike quickly, a 1-1 tie quickly by the Bears. The Chiefs come back 2-1 now. Bob Felt putting it in.
Yeah,
The Bears, Tom, we have to mention their offense. They score 17.5 goals a game on the 94 season. So outstanding offense by the Chiefs as we get a look at the replay on the last one by the Bears. That tied it up at 1.
Yeah, it's Gerard Muley's spin move coming up with a high shot right past Sean Quirk. But with New York Tech's offense, I believe right now they are missing Doyen a lot. Not only are they missing Doyen as somebody, a big target to go to inside on their offense, but with the loose balls, he's not taking people out. He's not smashing into people. He's not scooping up the loose balls. And right near the end of the last transition at midfield, he took his first tumble of the game where he actually had contact, and it did take him a couple of seconds as he stood up gingerly, protecting that sore right shoulder. So that requires monitoring throughout the day.
That's right. We have to give some of the offensive credit to offensive coordinator for the Bears, Bob Cook, Coach Kaley's assistant. Coach Kaley only in his second season as the Bears coach with a 20-3 mark for the Bears. Right now has himself in his second year a position to win a national championship. So Coach Kaley's done a fine job with this Bears squad in only 2 seasons.
Yeah, I had a chance to speak with Coach Kaley yesterday, and hopefully we'll be able to get that interview on the air. A couple of comments with Coach Kaley.
So now we'll get set with 4:48 to go in the first quarter. Muley down low against Terrio. We'll see how Terrio, you can see Terrio's stick right there. He has it angled up with both of his hands facing down. Now Terrio wants a reset as he thinks Muley's over the line as our zebra Tim Murray sets up Muley, and now Terrio in his stance a little bit higher than Muley. You see Muley way down low trying to use the size and power advantage. There you see that was Terrio doing his thing, scooping it behind his legs, and now Terrio with the ball. He moves in as Bessio's hounded him, and now right in front, Police to Anastas. Anastas goes to the side, and that's pushed aside by Tuttle. Nice job by Tuttle as Anastas once again right outside the crease. So O'Brien now clears to Arante with the long stick. Arante directing traffic has Bessio to his right. He finds Muley on the far side, however, and now Gerard slowing things down for the Bears. 4:15 to go in the opening quarter, 2-1 lead by the Chiefs. And now the Bears move in. That's Bessio behind the cage. Now Vetter in front. Bessio still hounded. Goes behind the back, cannot make the shot as it goes out of bounds.
Not a wise shot by Mike Bessio right there. And the reason is because New York Tech didn't have somebody behind the goal. You got to have somebody behind the goal so you retain possession if you want to take an around-the-back shot like that. You don't lose possession on that. Very bad choice there by Mike Bessio.
So now the Chiefs far side, that's Dan Citrone, who has just checked into the game. He wears number 5, and this is going to be a flag on the Bears. Looks like number 21, Kevin O'Brien, with the flag. So the Chiefs will go up again by a man. Looks like O'Brien will walk to the box.
Yeah, he'll get a minute for slashing on that. And then Springfield is consequently going to enjoy a 60-minute man-up situation, as we see O'Brien
trying to explain to the official exactly what he did. He's saying, I didn't break any rules. That was legal. So now Dan Citrone, he'll move it in. That's Bob Felt and Dan Citrone, and he has Mark Anastas on the other side. Now Mark, he'll go behind the cage to Jared Smith and Felt once again. The Chiefs move it around, try to get a nice look at the cage. They don't let the Bears set up in that zone as they do a nice job spreading the ball around with 4 players over 40 points in scoring. That's Felt now. Jared Smith in front. Nice save by Tuttle as he had Jared Smith all alone right in front. Now the ball is loose and a whistle. It's going to be against the Chiefs, and the Bears will retain possession, Tom.
Yeah, as New York Tech did well there with their man-down defense. They had 2 long sticks, and then Hutchinson, who's a tall kid to begin with at 6'5", makes it virtually 3 long sticks there, and that caused some pressure.
So now Goodrich will pressure on the other end. You're right. They have tall defenders, do the Bears. O'Brien and Hutchinson, both over 6 foot tall, very big men. So Muley now stripped on the offensive end. Ooh, Bob Felt on the loose ball got knocked down, and we do hear a whistle. So another infraction spotted by our official, and it's going to be against the Bears this time as possession will be retained by the Chiefs.
I think we had a pushing from behind there.
Now Keith Flanagan, the number 1 defensive specialist for the Chiefs, moves it in, and now far side. Once again, that's Savastano on the ground. Again, a nice save by Tuttle. Continues to shut the door. Paul Police now near side. He'll go up top to his captain, Bob Felt.
Teams
and
already
Felt slows things down. Sorry, Tom.
That's okay. Teams are at even strength.
On the ground that time by Daly, went wide, so over the end line, the Chiefs will retain. Jared Smith in the far corner, pressured by Arante. And Savastano, as we mentioned, 5 goals in the early season meeting against the Bears, about the only bright spot for the Chiefs. Now Felt in front, the shot goes wide as Tuttle just has it skip off his stick.
Yeah, New York Tech was like a bunch of piranhas there. Once Savastano slipped, 3 New York Tech's players committed to him, and leaving Bob Felt, the All-American, open from the same range he scored before. They got to be patient. Don't overshoot your zone here. You got to stay with it.
Just under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter, a 2-1 lead by the Chiefs. They do a fine job in their man-to-man defense thus far as Kevin O'Brien loses the handle out of bounds. And the Chiefs will take over once again, Tom. The Bears are a little bit sloppy right now.
That's the 3rd turnover.
Like you said, rushing things.
Yeah. Yeah, there was no need for that. You know, just watch the ball into your stick. They're just taking the eye off the ball. That's basic fundamental in any sport where there's a ball involved.
So now the Chiefs get a look at Bob Felt, the captain in his last season. I spoke to Bob last night at the NCAA banquet held at the Mill Ridge Inn, and Bob said he wants to win today so bad he can taste it. So the Chiefs will move up now with Bob Felt. He'll direct traffic. We see him in the lower portion of the screen. And now Anastas. He finds Savastano. Now to Jared Smith, who will go on the ground once again, and that one deflected off Tuttle's stick and into the top of the cage. So now the Chiefs up 3-1 with just over 1 minute to go in the opening quarter.
New York Tech's defense is packed in so close that Springfield College guys are getting 15 and 20-yard shots right on cage, uncontested. There's nobody there to check Smith's stick at all. So Tuttle is just helpless right there.
He's made some fine shots, but that time you're right. He really had no help from his defenders.
You can see him almost calling to his teammates. Somebody's got to get around him. Somebody's got to check his stick.
So Tuttle asking for help as we get a look at the Happy Springfield squad on the far side with a 3-1 lead with just about 1:15 to go in the opening stanza. It'll be Terrio again, this time against Torrey. Bears said they were going to try to mix a few things up if they weren't successful early on against Terrio. They were going to try to use Mulet's power against Terrio. If that didn't work, use the smaller Torrey with his speed.
Yes, he is.
Not only that, Mulet also plays a lot and runs up and down the field a lot, so he needs a break every once in a while. That's why Nick Torrey was brought in to face off.
So Terrio won that face-off, Tom. Once again, that time Torrey not successful as Terrio now controls. He's hounded by a couple of defensemen, and he's stripped, but a flag comes flying as Terrio hits the grass. Terrio looks like he's in some pain.
Are they going to throw it down from
as that's going to be against the Bears. It looks like they go off. Could be against Arante. I'm not too sure. It looks like Torrey going to the box now.
No, Torrey's going to the bench. Arante's going
to the box.
So the long stick defense back in for New York Tech for the man down.
Okay.
I see Hutchinson, Martinez, and Sean Burns.
That's right, Sean Burns, 19.
Coming in for New York Tech. Oh, excuse me, not this time.
Brian Tramp is big number 36.
Right. So New York Tech is playing behind the 8 ball all day so far in this first period.
Report.
Okay, so while we have a moment, Springfield with this timeout, we see the 3-1 lead by the Chiefs with about 1:02 to go in the opening quarter on a beautiful Saturday afternoon at the CW Post campus here in Brookville.
He's right there kneeling down.
I'm Brian Evie along with Tom Judge.
He's the guy kneeling down.
As we see Coach Kaley lecturing his troops. See Bob Cook to the left in that huddle. He's the offensive coordinator we spoke about. Tom, why don't we throw it down to Rich D'Elia with his special sideline report. Take it away, Rich.
Wait.
Okay, the teams are back out from the timeout. Okay, we were sorry for the technical difficulties with that sideline report, but we'll come back to Rich a little bit later.
Sorry, good job,
as we're sure that he has some good information, as Rich always does. And so we come back with a man-up situation for Springfield, and
he should be in 4.
This is their 3rd or 4th man-up of the day already, and New York Tech is just playing very sloppy offensive and penalty-wise.
So they move it around well. Once again on the offense, Jared Smith, Bob Felt, Savastano, and Citrone. And now Anastas gets into the act as Felt puts the shot in from the left, putting the Chiefs up by a score of 4-1 with 44 seconds to go in the opening quarter. The Chiefs putting some distance between themselves and the Bears as they continue to strike. Tim Tuttle does not have the answer.
No, Tim Tuttle, as a matter of fact, he thought he was much further away from the pipe in that situation. When after that goal went in, he was actually shocked at how much room that was to his right, which is where Felt shot the ball. Felt is left-handed, and he's going right past Tuttle's stick. This is the second time they've gone right past Tuttle's stick.
So some soft defense by the Bears late in the first quarter, giving the Chiefs 2 quick scores, and now they lead by a 4-1 margin as they once again control the face-off with Terrio doing fine work, that time against Mulet. Now Terrio moves in. The Chiefs try to get another as Jared Smith is in the corner, pressured by O'Brien. Smith goes all the way to the line. He loses the handle, but Terrio there quickly for the Chiefs. 24 seconds to go, opening quarter. Terrio takes a hit by Bessio. Bessio gets back on defense well. Bears break it up initially, and now Arante far side with 10 seconds to go, opening stanza. Arante eludes Anastas, and another whistle. That'll stop the clock with just about 8 seconds to go, opening quarter. 4-1 lead for this Springfield squad from Massachusetts. Again, they lost the early season matchup 14-9 without their captain, senior Bob Felt, who's
making a difference today.
That's right. He's got himself 2 goals already this afternoon. We've only played 1 quarter, as the seconds wind down in that quarter. 3 more ticks to go on the clock as right in front, quickly, the Chiefs put one in before the time expires. Jared Smith that time to the right of Tuttle.
Well, Tuttle came out of the cage all the way on that one. And the ball deflected off his stick, but he didn't stop it enough as Eugene Goodrich tried to get in behind him and block the rest of the shot's way, but it just did not make it there.
So we wind down the first quarter, Tom, with a 5-1 lead in favor of the Chiefs.
Okay, so let's do a scoring recap. All right, let's watch this last play here.
Look at that, right in front, Jared Smith to the left of Tuttle. Tuttle almost blinded by his defenders in front. Looks like Trampus and Arante screened them, and he couldn't see the ball.
Well, that was Tuttle who had come out of the cage, and Eugene Goodrich was in the crease there helping him out because Brian Trampus was not close enough. Again,
no, Joe is down there.
Springfield College is just getting shot after shot with nobody checking the sticks. Just every time a shot's taken, it's supposed to be a check stick.
So it looks like the Springfield Chiefs so far through one quarter have found an answer to this tricky zone game played by the Bears.
I think the answer might be in one Bob Felt. You miss his scoring when he's out in the first game. You missed his scoring, okay, but now he's got the loose balls going on. He's got breaking the press against New York Tech. He's coming down the field. So it's just an air about Springfield. They're a completely different team. And you spoke with Keith Bugby, Springfield's coach, yesterday, and he did say that he didn't think the team was quite as prepared for the first meeting as they are for this one.
That's right. Like you said in our opening, they weren't outdoors. They were only outdoors for about a week before that game against Tech, so they didn't have time to prepare for this zone defense that they heard so much about. So they were overwhelmed in the first half. They went into the locker room after the half in that first game, down 8-3, so they were really stunned by this Tech defense. They've had 2 weeks to prepare for it here in this national championship game, and they've done a fine job. They're up by 5-1. We're getting set to start the second quarter. It's going to be Terrio Muley now. The Chiefs going right to left, and the Bears going in the opposite direction as Muley puts up a nice fight that time, but it's loose and a whistle as
New York Tech wins their first faceoff.
Right.
Now it's 6-1 in faceoff.
As Muley that time gave the extra effort as Goodrich now moves in. Stripped nicely that time by Felt, and now Muley at the top. Muley to the cage. He's hounded, and a flag as that time John Klepacki used his stick too high on Gerard Muley.
Okay, New York Tech is going to enjoy their second man-up situation of the day. But what's going on with New York Tech on offense is that once a man has the ball, they're just trying to beat their man and draw the defender, and they're not getting rid of the ball quick enough. Once you draw the double team off the initial beating of your man, get rid of the ball because there's somebody open and you're going to create the defense to move, and then that's how the goals are scored.
So that was Brad Jorgensen and not John Klepacki on the infraction against the Chiefs. So Bears up a man. Now they move in. Bessio in the corner trying to find a teammate. Finds Vetter in front, but Vetter's stick is pushed aside by Quirk. Nice job by Quirk that time stopping Vetter.
Well, he had the angle shut down, so Vetter had to go to the shorter side of the cage and just missed. Vetter's good, though. He'll come back with that same shot.
He's decent. He likes to feed. He's a good passer. Vetter now at the top. He'll shoot this time. Goes on the ground, and he nets it. 5-2. The Bears get on the board first in the second quarter. We've played 45 seconds. It's now 5-2 in favor of the Chiefs, Tom.
Yeah, Terrence Vetter was feeling a little bit gun-shy early in the game. But he's come out with 2 shots, and here we get a good look at it. And he gets it right on the ground, 3 yards in front of the crease. As you can see the cloud of dust go up. And instead of just throwing the ball right into the goalie's stick, you put the ball on the ground, it's going to take a strange hop. Lacrosse balls are designed to do that. And that's a classic shot by Terrence Vetter there.
So a nice job by Vetter. Looks like the Chiefs was set up in the defense that time for Vetter to pass, as he usually does. As we said, 78 points, 45 of those coming on assists by Terrence during the 94 campaign. So now the Bears control as Kevin O'Brien gains possession for the Bears. They lose it momentarily, and now near side Arante scoops it behind his back to Bessio. Nice play by Arante as he gets onside quickly. Bessio to the cage, and he's stripped by the defense. Darren Caddy that time with the nice stick work on Mike Bessio. A hit that time by Vetter, the small Vetter behind the cage. And another whistle.
Bessio, when he was coming down the right sideline, he didn't have the proper angle there, and he had two teammates, who were ahead of him to break, and maybe he would have been wiser to get the pass off.
So we'll see if Mike makes up for it right now. He's hounded again once in front, that time by Doug Ballard, and Mike, he'll take a knee as possession arrows gained by the Chiefs.
And he was claiming that he was pushed into the crease there, and he might have had a case for that.
So now the Chiefs will bring it back the other way. Jared Smith near side slowly brings it down for the Springfield squad. Again, they lead 5-2. 13 and a half minutes to go in the second quarter. Now Jared Smith. Bob Felt again on the offense. Nick Savastano chases it down in the corner, Tom.
And this is how tentative Tech is. They have their man-down defense in with the long sticks and everything to try to shut down Springfield. And
they don't want to fall any further behind than they already are. 5-2 against this Springfield defense is not easy, as we said. 7.5 goals a game allowed by the Springfield squad. That's a fine number with the 67% between the pipes by Quirk. So the Bears now try to defend as Paul Police moves in. He's stripped nicely by O'Brien.
Great
no
check.
Whistle that time. I know, that was a nice check. No whistle, no flag. Clean hit.
Brian Trampus with that great hit down there.
So now Bessio will try to make something happen on the offense. He's stripped again that time, but it looks like a flag comes in as our official spots another foul.
Yeah, Bessio was hitting the face mask. Oh, they're going to get him for slashing. So Tech is going to be man up again for another minute.
Okay, so that one comes with 12:31 to go in the first half. The Chiefs leading 5-2. So now they set up over the line. You see Vetter at the top. He's the man who does most of the feeding on the offense, as we said. 45 assists, so he'll set up at top, and he'll work it around for his teammates. That's Ian Karanikis, and now at the top, the shot and the score by Muley in the far side. That time had Quirk totally confused on the hard shot by Muley, so now 5-3 in favor of the Chiefs with 12:18 to go in the first half.
Yeah, 3 passes, and as soon as the double team was drawn, especially in this situation, see Muley getting that shot off right over the shoulder of the defenseman, which definitely screened Quirk on that, as Quirk was late as it went past his left shoulder as opposed to his right where Muley had scored earlier. But when Tech passes the ball around, once they get men to commit, then they're much better off, and that's what they're finding out right now.
That time, that was just a powerful crank by Muley, just sneaking by Quirk. So now 5-3 as the Bears are slowly creeping back in. Terrio wins the draw once again. He'll go across to Citron, and Citron puts the shot in from the far side. Now 6-3 in favor of the Chiefs. The Chiefs striking back quickly.
Yeah, it's starting to turn out to be a shootout.
And oddly enough, the Chiefs lead 6-3 with 12:09 to go in the first half. Unbelievable offensive production early on by the Springfield Chiefs. It all starts with the face-off, and Mark Terrio, time and time again, controls the draw. We see him here once again as you get a look at our early score, 6-3. The Chiefs lead the Bears. Terrio now, he's pushed off his stance by Muley. Muley doing a nice job that time with the size advantage, winning the face-off. So Muley now, far side, he moves in as he's pressured by defense, and Muley sends it over. He tried to find Bessio, but that eludes Mike.
It looked like a shot on goal to me where his stick was checked from this angle, but he had 3 men on him. He should have been looking for a teammate in front of the goal. Somebody's got to be open.
So now Bessio, he'll try to find a man from behind the cage. He's pressured there by Keith Flanagan. As we said, we want to keep an eye on that matchup all afternoon. Keith Flanagan and Mike Bessio, probably the 2 best athletes on the field. Bessio to the cage. Nice job by Flanagan from behind, stripping Bessio just as he attempted to get the shot off. Nice work by McManus, dumping his man, Dan Citron, on the near side. And the Chiefs gain possession and move it down as Quirk comes all the way out. And now far side, the Bears get back on defense as Jared Smith sets up the offense for the Chiefs behind the cage. Comes all the way around on the sweep, pressured by Arante. Shot in front, that's deflected as he tried to find Anastas, and now Tuttle comes way out as Goodrich protects the cage for the Bears, and now all the way out comes McManus near side. He's watched by Terrio. Terrio looks like he's a little bit winded out there, Tom. Now near side to Bessio.
Yeah, he's going to have a chance to rest a little bit here. He's not playing too hard.
Bessio finds Vetter in front, Tom. That time a little soft. Stopped by Quirk, and Quirk comes out and clears along the far side. Ooh, nice job by Goodrich coming up with the ball that time on the far side, but a whistle. And it's going to be possession for the Bears as Goodrich, with his usual hustle that time after the loose ball, Tom.
Yeah, he was pushed from behind on that play.
So now Bessio to the cage once again. Again, stripped by Flanagan. Great work by Flanagan with the long stick.
And he had Doyen wide open on the crease there.
That's right, Bessio a little bit too anxious. Now, in front, Dan Citrone finds Mark Anastas, and Anastas goes around Tuttle and puts it in, putting the Chiefs up 7-3 with just over 10 minutes to go in the first half.
You know, New York Tech's defenders let down just then. They let Anastas get behind them, and it was just a simple backdoor play. And I wasn't aware of who the New York Tech player was, but they were clearly beaten to the crease, and Tuttle had no option but to come out there and try to stop that.
Tuttle not getting a lot of help from his creaseman this afternoon. He's been left all alone with the attack of the Chiefs, and time after time they continue to pressure him, and he just can't shut the door every time, Tom.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He's not getting a lot of help. So now once again, Terrio controls. Oh, nice job that time by the Chiefs, keeping it in. That's Terrio with a nice diving play, and he goes behind his back to find Flanagan. Nice work. Looks like the Chiefs are just a step quicker than the Bears as Bessio and Torrey can't keep up as the Chiefs get all the way down. Now in front, Paul Police tried to find Smith, but Smith just wasn't expecting the pass, and it goes into the corner where Smith is pressured by O'Brien, but Smith finds it and gets Felt, who goes behind the back but wide to Tuttle. And that skips out of bounds over the end line, but the Chiefs retain.
Yeah, with Felt's around the back shot there being so much different than Bessio's shot that was taken around the back earlier, is that there are two Springfield College guys behind the net, so they retain possession.
So now Anastas once again. Right in front, Smith. That's deflected nicely by Arante as Trampus puts a hit on Smith. No flag, however, so a clean hit once again by Trampus. Quick change by both squads.
And Dan Daly of Springfield ran through the crease there, but there was no call there. Oh, yes, there was. That's why the referee had the ball stopped. Okay, my fault.
You can look at it right here. The hit by Trampus.
Crushing him.
That's right. Clean hit. His man did see him coming, so good call or good non-call by the officials as the Bears try to knock something off this 7-3 advantage by the Chiefs. McManus all the way down, and now Vetter. Terrence Vetter slowly creeps behind his very comfortable spot behind that cage. And now he speeds it up a little bit. And now in front, he tried to find Doyen, who's back in the game, but Doyen couldn't find the ball that time, and now it's loose in front. Some rough play. Muley in there. Muley takes a hit from behind. Klepacki that was. Now Vetter comes up with the loose ball. Now Terrence, he moves in. Nice job that time by Jorgensen, another strong defender by the Chiefs. And now Bessio all the way at top. He'll move into the cage, and he hits that one off the bar. So nice shot that time by Bessio, just wide off the bar and all the way back down for the Chiefs, Tom.
Yeah, but he wasted time complaining to the referee about a slash instead of going after the rebound. It came right back to him. He could have been right there.
He didn't get back to the rebound in time.
You got to play the game and let the referees ref the game. That's what everybody's there to do. Play your role.
It's like Bessio concerned more about scoring a goal that time than actually getting back on defense, getting the rebound. So now Trampus and Muley will move it up for the Bears as Trampus gets back on side. Now Muley, far side. You see Klepacki with the stick on Muley doing fine work on the defense. This Chiefs defense, we're seeing trademark Chief defense today as Muley moves in off the sweep. Nothing doing there as Quirk once again pushes it aside. And it goes over the end line. And then Tom, you look a little frustrated.
Well, I'm not frustrated. I'm just surprised because once again we're going down to the isolation, and he was even double teamed, and there was no pass once he was double teamed. You know, move the ball around. We get a holding on Springfield, and Tech will retain possession.
7-3, the Chiefs lead with 7:37 to go in the opening half of play. We're at CW Post Long Island University, Brian Evie, along with Tom Judge, to bring you this NCAA Division II National Championship game, as Bessio has not scored a goal thus far. That time another whistle. And it's going to be against the Bears, as the Chiefs will take it over. Now Flanagan, near side. He's chased by Bessio, but Flanagan just a little bit too quick. Goodrich comes all the way across the field.
And he's lucky, Goodrich is lucky he missed. He had a cross check, and that was it.
Okay, so now the Chiefs move in once again. 7 minutes to go in the half. Ball is loose. Bob Felt will chase it down. Far side. Felt on it. He's pressured by Trampus. Gets it off to Palesi. All right, Tom, let's throw it down to Mike Trezor with a special sideline report. Okay, thanks, Mike. Kevin McManus now moving in for the Bears. Goes around the cage. He's pressured by Felt. There's 6:06 to go in the opening half as the Bears try to make something happen. They trail by 4. 7-3, the Chiefs lead. Now Goodrich moves in. He dumps his man, Savastano. And now Muley. Gerard Muley, Tom, making it 7-4.
Yeah, Eugene Goodrich getting the penetration, and once he was double-teamed, he dished the ball off to the open man. It's a basic philosophy in lacrosse. When you're double-teamed, somebody's got to be open. Muley made himself available by being in the passing lane and had that left-handed crank shot right past Quirk.
Okay, so that's number 3 for our face-off specialist, Gerard Muley. Just under 6 minutes to go. The Bears trail by 3. As Terrio once again scoops it between his legs, and Jorgensen is there. It comes back to Terrio. That time he beat Torrey off the face, and now Mark will move in. Tries to find Bromby, but that eludes Chris, and out of over the end line where the Bears take over, Tom.
New York Tech, I feel, is fortunate to be only trailing by 3 points, considering that they're down 9-2 in face-offs against Springfield. Springfield came out hot with leading 5-1 in the first period, and Tech has allowed 2 by scoring 3 this period, so they're starting to feel the rhythm of the offense, and I think they can see what is working offensively. Ball movement, players being cutting and making themselves available in the passing lanes, as opposed to just standing behind and have an isolation. Here's Muley once again, and he's wide open. He scores again.
Muley that time all by himself right outside the crease. So now it's 7-5 in favor of the Chiefs. 2 quick strikes for the Bears. Now the Chiefs lead by only 2 with 5:07 to go in the opening half. Nice job that time by Muley. Underhand, just off the ground, snuck by Quirk.
Yeah, and that pass from Kevin O'Brien. New York Tech was working on their long passes yesterday at practice, where the defensemen would find the midfielders or the attackmen sneaking behind that extra layer of defense, and that's exactly what happened there. Muley found himself open in that crease, came to the cage, and with Bessio on the left side, on the right side of the cage, they had a 2-on-1 situation with a defender, and he had to choose to whom he was going to run, and he ran at Muley just a little bit late. So New York Tech makes that 7-5 as they're starting to find their stride here.
That's right, the Chiefs, on their offensive side, they love to spread the ball around. They don't rely too heavily on Felt or on Astis or Savastano. They spread it around.
Gerard Muley had 29 goals on the year, so he's averaging about 2.5 goals a game. He's already got 4, so he's picking up the slack for where Peter Doyen, who was the leading goal scorer for New York Tech with 51, is lacking. Doyen hasn't scored. and Bessio hasn't scored. So New York Tech still has some firepower that it can go to. So it has Springfield hasn't seen all of Tech's looks.
Firepower that they've put on the shelf so far with 5:07 to go in the first half. Nothing going so far for Michael Bessio. For the high-powering New York Tech offense, they have 5 goals, but right about now, you're used to seeing 9 or 10 on the board for the Bears. So that time, once again, Terrio beats Mule off the faceoff. Work will come out. Down once again on the offense. It's Boy Graham. The long near side.
We have a Jared Smith, number 10.
Smith now, he'll move in. Jared goes across to Anastas, and Anastas puts it in over Tuttle. Now 8-5 in favor of the Chiefs.
Once again, Springfield gets right on top of the crease. New York Tech has to stop allowing people to just go right in there. And Tuttle.
That time, totally beat by Anastas and Jared Smith. But like you said, Tom, not a lot of help from his defense. Monty that time, Ed O'Brien beat by the Chiefs attackmen, so it's now 8-5 with 4:37 to go in the opening half.
See, the New York Tech is trying to pack their defense in there to stay. As we get a look at Smith, dishing it right off there to Anastas, going high. Anastas is hanging out right on the crease. Nobody there to check him. He shouldn't even be able to receive a pass there, much less get a shot off.
That time, Mule
with the face-off.
Mule couldn't use it, but it falls down and the ball comes loose. That's the answer.
The ground ball to the 5 and clear.
Back the other way, Goodrich tries to poke at it and free it up, but he cannot. As Citrone moves it all the way in. Finally,
Goodrich,
Goodrich is able to dump Citrone. No whistle, however, so the Chiefs get on it quickly in the corner, however. And now Trampus, the long stick, goes to Goodrich. Goodrich takes a hit, but he still controls. Goodrich does fine stick work. Now the ball is loose as Jared Smith takes a hit from Trampus, but Smith's still on it, and a whistle.
time violation against Tech possession.
That's a possession out for the Chiefs. It's a violation against the Bears, so 3:57 to go, an 8-5 lead for the Chiefs as they move in once again on the offense. Paul Police at the top. He's hounded by O'Brien. Paul moves in, and he neglects to go in as he passes up to Terrio. Terrio can't find the ball as it eludes him and goes over the line, and now far side. Nice play that time by Martinez, who just checked into the game.
And he gets called.
Number 5.
Time.
He gets called for pushing, so Springfield will get the ball right at the restraining line.
Time of game.
That's Terrio giving it over to LeVogue.
After
LeVogue
3:30 to
sweeping
go
right.
in the first half. Sorry, Tom.
That's okay.
As that time,
3:30.
finally, Tech applies the defense. 2 hats on the 1 ball. But now they'll go into the far corner behind the cage, continuing to apply pressure as the flag comes in along the far side, so it'll be another whistle.
And Arante will go for slashing. So Tech in another man-down situation. That's 5 man-down situations for Tech today versus 3 for Springfield. So Springfield is...
Now, commercial.
Tom, we're going to go to commercial.
Get ready, get ready.
Okay.
Quick
we're
score
back.
that time by the Chiefs. Sorry, Tom. So now the Chiefs will go up 9-5 as Jared Smith puts it in to the right of Tuttle. That time Tuttle again, no help from his defenders, left all alone. So Jared Smith just outside the crease puts it in, and he puts his squad up by 4. 9-5 the Chiefs lead. 2:49 to go in the half. Tuttle right there just looks totally
got you.
befuddled.
I got
Has been getting no help from his defense. I'm sure he's going to have a word with his teammates in the locker room at the half, as we have a 15-minute recess today because of the national championship game, NCAA. Division II national championship game is Goodrich again on the ground ball. That's one of the constants for the Bears, is
Eugene Goodrich picking the loose ball up off the turf. That time he takes a hit by Klepacki, and it will be a whistle. That's Jorgensen, excuse me, not John Klepacki. So Brad Jorgensen will go off.
So Tech will have a man-up situation
Penalty number 15.
for 30 seconds as Goodrich was pushed from behind. And they have to make this one pay off. They have to get back into that flow, they being New York Tech, excuse me. And we see Ian Karanikis going to pick up the ball. They got to move the ball around. Don't just one man hold it again. Let's get back into that flow.
That's right, some ball movement to get a good look at the cage. Karanikis will move in. And that's what Coach Kaley told you yesterday, Tom. You need good ball movement. Karanikis moves in, but a nice strip that time by the Chiefs as Darren Caddy was able to knock it out of Ian's hands. So Darren with a nice job, and now they'll try to clear it. Quirk on the far side. Just great defense by the Chiefs in this first half. Bessio can't come up with the loose ball, and another whistle. As we wait the call of the officials, it looks like it's going to be against the Bears as we see Coach Kaley very upset on the sideline.
No, it wasn't against the Bears. Excuse me, Brian. What Coach Kaley is upset about is that New York Tech was going to enjoy a breakaway without the goalie in the cage. He was upset that the whistle was existent at all. The push from behind with Tech with possession should have been a penalty with some minutes attached there, a minute at least.
Okay, thanks, Tom. I missed that call. So Muley now will move in as the Bears have the advantage. He skips it off the turf, but that goes wide of Quirk, and now Bessio near side moves in. Again, he's pressured. And another flag as Bessio takes a hard hit just outside the crease. Some rough play now as Doyen moves in. Doyen with the separated right shoulder. Doesn't want to get involved in any physical play with a minute and a half to go in the first half.
Yeah, it's starting to get rough out there. As Bessio made his drive to the goal, sweeping left, he was cross-checked and around the neck and was driven to the turf.
That was John Klepacki, it looked like, Tom, on the infraction. But we don't see a player in the box.
Yeah,
so.
yes, he is right next to the cone over there, kneeling down, talking to the coach as we get a look at Doyen.
Klepacki in the box with the hit on Bessio. So now Mike will start off the Bears offense. They trail by 4.
Tech with another 30-man man-up advantage, 30-second man-up advantage.
So now Muley, he works with McManus. And Gerard tries to move in, but strong defense by the Chiefs. That's Darren Caddy keeping Gerard out over the line. And now Bessio, he'll go behind a Vetter. Vetter right in front. Nothing going on as Sean Quirk went off his stick, and now over the end line, the Bears retain the arrow. And Vetter, again, behind the cage in front of Doyen. Doyen with his first shot of the game from the right side. Nice shot by Doyen, but a nicer save by Quirk. Again, that time, Karanikis, and another one from Vetter. Some pressure here by the Bears. Muley is stripped as the Bears are all over Quirk and the Chiefs, but a whistle.
Yep.
That stops the clock with 41 seconds to go in the first half. The Chiefs lead by 4. Nice pressure. For the first time, some consistent pressure by the Bears offense.
Yeah, 3 shots in a row hit the pipe right there for New York Tech. Doyen looked like he couldn't hold on to that pass where he normally would have had a quick stick goal had his shoulder not been as hurt as it is.
So the Bears that time continue to knock on the door, but Quirk refusing to let anyone in. We see the save that time by Quirk, outstretched to his right. So the Bears, they'll try it once again. They have 35 seconds to go. See what they can do on the offense. Gerard Muley, Mike Bessio, Terrence Vetter, Peter Doyen, and Dennis McManus on the offense for the Bears. They move it around. Vetter, Muley, Torrey, and now behind a Vetter, Bessio.
And he hits the crossbar on that shot there. New York Tech still has 32 seconds left.
Bessio that time goes into the crease, so that's possession arrow for the Chiefs. 12 seconds to go. It's a 9-4 lead for the Springfield squad.
And that was a big key that Springfield got that possession after that shot there.
Score.
With 12 seconds left. Tech needed another score right there.
9-5 to go. We'll see what they can do. As the Chiefs control now, they're going to wind down the clock. 2 seconds to go. They're going to go into the locker rooms with a 9-5 lead. So we've played one half of this Division II National Championship game, Tom, and the Chiefs dominating on the defense and on the offense. They lead by 4, 9-5 in favor of the Springfield Chiefs.
Okay, quickly, let me give a scoring recap. In the first quarter, at the 9:47 mark, Onassis scored for Springfield off the assist from Police. Muley then scored for New York Tech unassisted at the 5:06 mark. And less than a minute later, Bob Felt for Springfield, off an assist from Jared Smith, made it 2-1 Springfield. Smith came back with the goal himself unassisted, getting the score to 3-1. At 44 seconds left in the first quarter, Bob Felt cranked a left-handed shot past Tim Tuttle off a feed from Savastano, making it 4-1 for Springfield. And then Smith, unassisted, made the score 5-1 at the end of the first quarter as Springfield got off to a fast start. Starting off the second quarter, less than a minute into it, Terrence Venner scored unassisted for New York Tech, making it 5-2. Muley, assisted by Venner, made the score 5-3 a couple of minutes later. Then Citron came right back off the face-off for Springfield, and he scored unassisted, getting the lead back up to 3 at 6-3 for Springfield. At the 10-minute mark of the second quarter, Anastas off a feed from Citron made it 7-3 for Springfield. Muley then scored 2 goals in a row. One was a feed from Goodrich, and the other one was a feed from O'Brien, making the score 7-5 Springfield. And then to round out the scoring in the first half, Anastas and Smith
Jerry, can they hear the announcers?
scored the last 2 goals, making the score 9-5 at halftime for Springfield, and they're enjoying the flow of the game.
See Springfield conducting their halftime talks. They stay on the field. The Bears went into the locker rooms for the half.
Yeah, I think the Bears went into the locker room perhaps so Coach Kaley could just shake them up a little bit, because they're just off timing their offense and not moving it around. Perhaps they would see that they would be successful if they continued to move the ball. They've scored their goals when moving the ball. Other than that, New York Tech on the defensive end is just missing the cutters on the crease. They're leaving cutters right on the crease all day long. And we talk about Brian Trappist as the crease defenseman, and he's supposed to be ultimately responsible for everybody. And also Arante.
Spoke about the speed, too, Tom, of these Chiefs, and they're beating the Bears on both ends of the field. They're getting back quickly on defense and getting to the cage before the Bears' defense can get back and stop and help out Tim Tuttle. He's been left all alone.
I think the term I'm looking for here is what happened to Tuttle is besieged.
Yeah.
He's been faced with so many one-on-one situations right on the crease that he's been virtually helpless back there. He came out of the goal and made a couple of nice saves, cutting off angles earlier on in the game. But after a while, you just enough is enough, and something's going to break down. You don't want to play those percentages for too long. Tuttle himself is not enjoying a fantastic game, or not even a really good game at this point. He's been beat several times from 15 to 20 yards out with non-bounce shots by Bob Felt and Savastano and Anastas. But also, when he's been clearing the ball, he's been unforced errors that have been at midfield as Springfield refuses to attack and pressure and leaving somebody open. And New York Tech has struggled with the clearing, too.
So Coach Keith Bugby has got his squad prepared. He gets them set for the second half. While we have a moment with about 10 minutes to go in the halftime intermission, let's take a break, Tom, with the Springfield Chiefs leading through one half of play over the Bears, 9-5. Okay, Brian Evie along with Tom Judge. We're back to start the second half of action between the Bears of New York Tech and the Springfield Chiefs. Chiefs won the first half 9-5, and Muley finally wins a draw against Terrio. He wins the opening second half draw as Dennis McManus controls far side for the Bears as they set up the offense. Bessio looks fresh as he moves into Vetter. Vetter behind the cage. He sets it up. He finds Vetter on the far side. Excuse me, he finds Bessio. Now Bessio will come up top. He's got Muley over the line. Bessio one-on-one now with Flanagan. He moves around. Bessio to the cage. A shot, a soft shot. Quirk is able to grab it that time, Tom. So now 14 and a half to go. third quarter. Quick pressure by the Bears, but turned away by Sean Quirk.
Yeah, good defense there by Flanagan, not letting Bessio's stick come down and bouncing it. And here comes Flanagan down into the offensive zone.
Okay, so Flanagan to the cage. He goes on the ground, and that one sneaks by Tuttle, making it 10-5. The Chiefs are in double digits. Quickly into the third quarter, they strike first. 14-10 to go. The Chiefs on top by 5.
Well, as you reported earlier, Flanagan is the best athlete on Springfield College, and it's rare for a defenseman to score, so Flanagan enjoying himself a heck of a day here, shutting down Bessio, keeping him scoreless, and Keith comes down and unmolested all the way down into the mouth of the goal cage and bounces one as we get a good look at it right here, and Tuttle goes down low for it, but doesn't come back up with it.
So Tuttle once again, no answer, as Flanagan sneaks it in. So again, Terrio controls the draw. He finds Felt, and now Felt moves in. Felt goes passing to Anastas in front. Anastas can't find it, but Smith now to Polisi, and that's picked off by Goodrich. Nice play by Eugene Goodrich with a nice move to elude his man, and Goodrich brings it all the way down. Eugene Goodrich with some quick legs. He moves into the offensive zone, finds Bessio in the corner. Bessio watched closely by Flanagan. Flanagan doing a job on Bessio so far today. Bessio goes around the cage, tries to elude Flanagan. Flanagan still on him with the long stick. Bessio gets a shot between the legs of Quirk, and that's going to put a point on the board for the Bears. 10-6 now in favor of Springfield. That time Bessio really didn't beat Flanagan, but he got around him enough to sneak it through Quirk's legs, Tom.
Yeah, he set him up. He came right hard, and when he put on the brakes, came around, he got that little sliver, got his overhand left-handed bounce shot right in between the legs of Quirk. Here we see Bessio, watch this pivot right here, and he gets the stick up high, right there, over the stick of Flanagan.
Nice
right
job
down
by
low.
Flanagan, but like you said, Bessio got just enough of a look to get it through Quirk. So now 10-6, 2 quick strikes by both squads here to start the third quarter of action. 13.5 minutes to go. As once again, Muley wins another draw. That's his second control off the faceoff so far in this second half. O'Brien, he controls for the Bears as they bring it down. He's got Vetta to his right. He falls down and finds Terrence. And now Terrence moves behind the cage. He's pressured by 2. He has Bessio to his right. Terrence still controls. It's poked at by Caddy. Caddy gives Terrence some room, and he finds Doyen, who's in with the separated right shoulder once again to start the third. 12.5 to go.
And New York Tech wasn't even aware that they didn't even have enough guys on the field. Here comes McManus now, replacing Joe Martinez.
So now 9-on-9. Again, Goodrich at the top. Nice defense that time by Terrio, but a whistle, and that'll be an arrow against the Bears, so the Chiefs will control.
Yeah, a crease violation. That was uncalled for there as Doyen put his foot into the crease trying to get position inside.
So a 10-6 lead. Chiefs remain up by 4. We're early here in the third quarter. Brian Evie along with Tom Judge on the CW Post Campus here in Brookville. NCAA Division Championship. And now Bob Felt will move it in for the Chiefs. He comes to the near side. He's chased out by McManus. And again, the Chiefs set up, slowing it down, moving the ball around the cage, trying to get a good look. Savastano at the top, watched by Goodrich. Savastano, he finds Jared Smith, who doesn't have a man on him. And now Polisi to Felt. Felt with the shot off the ground, and that one sneaks by Tuttle. 11-6 in favor of the Chiefs. Just over 12 minutes to go in the third quarter. Good ball movement once again by Springfield.
Yeah, Paul Polisi with the nice feed from behind the cage. What's so surprising about that goal, the way it was scored with such ease, is that New York Tech didn't even send a man behind the cage, so they had all their men in front of the cage there, having that zone, the 3 defensive zone players across the front, and Bob Felt finding that seam again and putting a left-handed shot right past Tuttle.
So the Chiefs ahead now by 5. Both New York Tech and the Chiefs have never won a Division II national championship. The closest New York Tech has ever gone to a championship has been 1980 when the basketball team got to the championship. That eventually they lost that game to Virginia Union. So both of these teams in unfamiliar territory today. But the Chiefs prepared. They came prepared. They're up by 5.
Yeah,
with 11:40 to go in the third, Tom.
Tech's athletic director, Clark Dowdy, was a member of that 1980 NCAA Division II runners-up team.
So the long clear by Arante. And now Torrey, the face-off specialist, moves it down as he has Vetter behind the cage. Bessio in the far corner. Now Vetter moves around again, and that one sneaks by Quirk on the ground. So nice job by Vetter going on the ground, making it 11-7 in favor of the Chiefs, Tom. Quick scoring here in the third quarter.
Yeah, Terrence Vetter coming from behind the cage. He shot that before his body was even in front of the cage there, taking advantage of the step that he earned with the spin move behind the cage on the left side. So New York Tech is finding out that if you go low, Quirk is vulnerable.
It's what the Chiefs have been able to do today on Tuttle. Put the ball down on the ground. They lead by 4 over the Bears, as once again Muley and Terrio, Tom.
Yeah, even though the weather doesn't come into a factor today, because a wet ball or a ball on a wet ground that is bounced will skip. Even a ball that is bounced on dry ground will tend to skid because of the loose dirt right around where the goalies step. If you can see the dirt mounds there when they show the cage again.
Okay, so now the Chiefs will move in. Mark Terrio at the top. Finds a teammate to his left, but that shot is wide, and that goes over the end line. Chiefs will retain, however.
Yeah, that's Chris Lavogue on the bounce shot, saved by Tuttle behind the cage.
So now Dan Citrone sets up for the Chiefs. Shot by Police. That's deflected by Tuttle. Nice job by Tuttle that time as Police tried to go to the ground. Now the ball is loose. Arante, he shovels at it. He can't find the handle. As Terrio tracks it down. Still loose, however, as Goodrich once again on the ground ball. Now Eugene moves it out over his line. Tries to clear, and they do. Muley far side moves in. Muley has Doyen. He goes to Vetter, and Vetter sneaks it in, making it 11-8 in favor of the Chiefs. The Bears sneaking back in now, Tom. They brought the offensive weapons out of the clubhouse here in the second half. We'll see if they bring the defense with them to step up.
Great job by Muley. He knew he had the numbers, and all he had to do was be patient. He had about a 10, 15-yard lead on the Springfield guys coming in behind him. Peter Doyen played, sort of dummy on the play by laying back, making believe that there was no play. And then all of a sudden, Vetter came in, cutting on the deeper pattern behind, and was wide open right on the crease.
So 5 now for Gerard. Both teams coming out here in the third quarter, especially the Bears, and putting the ball in the cage. Muley. Oh, he almost won the draw, but Terrio came away with it. So Muley, nice job that time, keeping it away from Terrio, but it eventually got back to Mark.
And New York Tech seems to have come out with a lot more life in the second half, like you just mentioned. Perhaps Coach Kaley had a few choice words for, the New York Tech Bears there during halftime.
So the Bears retain now, far side. That's Eugene Goodrich. Tries to move around a defender. He finds Trampus. And now McManus. Finally, Muley will move it in. Muley once again with the spin move, trying for 6 goals. He loses the handle, and Jorgensen picks up for the Chiefs. And now Bessio, who's been very quiet today, on the far corner for the Bears. He comes in, Bessio to the cage, and Bessio is on the board for the Bears, making it 11-9. We have a 2-goal advantage for the Chiefs with 9.5 to go in the third quarter, Tom.
Yes, it looks like we got a barn burner going here. And as Bessio beat 3 different Springfield defenders for that goal and subsequently got knocked into the cage. It shows him coming around the cage. Watch them all converge on Bessio here. And this quick shot, boom, gets it off. That's the one step that Bessio was missing in the first half. In the first half, he was getting knocked on his rear end before he got the shot and away.
So an 11-9 score we have now, with about 3.5 minutes gone by in the third quarter.
Well, we can't hear what the referee was calling. There was a whistle and a flag on the play as Bessio was checked into the crease from behind by one of the Springfield players. He couldn't get the guy's number from the replay angle, but perhaps there is a penalty on the play, as we see.
That's Tim Tuttle with Mark Anastas just outside the crease.
So it's Springfield's ball, but man up for New York Tech.
That's right, it's Bob Felt controlling for the Chiefs. He has Savastano to his left.
So New York Tech has to keep them from getting into the restraining box, at which point they will release the player. We got timeout by Springfield as they're going to try to set up this play, because they need this player released from the box in order for New York Tech not to be a man up.
So the Chiefs that time ran a quick play, called a timeout once they saw how the Bears would defend, and they called a timeout. So it's 11-9 with 9.5 to go in the third quarter. During this timeout, why don't we throw it down to...
Okay, we're just going to get a look at the crowd behind Springfield's bench there. As we have timeout on the field, a couple of banners, the one on the left celebrating Terrio. Wait for the teams to come out of this timeout as we have a beautiful spring day here on May 14th. A couple of clouds in the sky, but they're just little whispers, a nice little breeze going on, and we have a lot of the fans in the stands with their shirts off.
So the Bears, Tom, have made it very exciting now in the third quarter. They only trail by 2 with 9.5 to go in this third quarter. Bob Felt will control for the Chiefs, Tom.
I feel a sense of excitement building up in the stadium, too, as the fans are starting to get into it with those 2 New York Tech quick scores.
That's right. We're happy you could join us this afternoon for this Division II NCAA championship game. That's lost out of bounds by the Chiefs, and the Bears and Robert Arante will control. Nice job by the Bears, turning away the Chiefs.
A little razzle-dazzle there by Felt and the Springfield coach, Keith Bugby, pulling Felt back and sending Flanagan down the sideline long. But New York Tech was hip to the plan and was right there to defend it. New York Tech's ball going the other way.
Okay, so Goodrich now. He'll work it with Bessio. And Vetter, Muley, Doyen, and McManus on the offense for the Bears. Bessio goes to the corner. And Vetter has up top control. Now Karanikis and Vetter. Now Muley with the shot. That goes way over the crossbar. So Bessio will track it down over the end line, Tom.
But that's a good shot from Muley there. He scored a couple times with those high shots, and there's still 29 seconds left on the man-up situation for Tech.
So now Bessio, McManus, now Vetter. He'll go to the ground. That one jumped. That one skips over Quirk again over the end line. So that'll stop the clock. 8:52, 21 seconds to go in the advantage.
And New York Tech taking no chances with point men behind both sides of the cage there, so they're getting possession after they should just shoot at will right here.
Again, Vetter, Karanikis. Now Doyen on it. Can't find the handle. The ball's still loose. It's tracked down by the defense of the Chiefs. Jorgensen. Finally, Bessio comes up with it. 1 second left in the advantage, however. 8.5 in the third quarter. 11-9 lead. That's a big B, Tom.
Yeah, the signs of spring are here, right? Get that thing out of
our
here.
way
there
here.
We go. Almost
8.5 to go in the third quarter. You all right, Tom?
Yeah, attacking the killer bees. They're coming up from Mexico.
Forgot to bring our bug spray this afternoon with us to the CW Post campus here in Brookville. So nice job by the defense of the Chiefs. The Bears got 2 shots off, but one skipping over the net and one going over the net, the one by Muley. So still 11-9 in favor of the Chiefs as they move down. Jared Smith to the right of Tuttle. That's a soft shot. Tuttle can grab it, and he clears to Arante with the long stick. Comes over the midline. He's chased by Daly. Nice job by Daly catching up to Arante. Now Doyen dumps off to Bessio, but it's loose. Bessio with the ground ball on it. He's pressured by Arnold. Bessio slowing it down. He has Hutchinson now in. He'll go off. And Doyen, Arante, he'll go back on D. McManus in low. Bessio takes the seat, gets the shot off, however, but a whistle. It's going to be against the Chiefs as Bessio takes a seat on the grass, Tom.
Yeah, Bessio's working hard this half. And that's exactly what Bessio's hard work. Once he gets inside, he creates penalties for the other team and opportunities for New York Tech. Doyen, I don't know what advantage it has in him being in there now. He can't pass the ball, so New York Tech is missing that center crease.
Okay, so Jorgensen now, he'll come down. Police right in front to Anastas, broken up by Tuttle. That one just wide of Tuttle, so a whistle, stopping action. A lot of action that time, just outside the crease of Tim Tuttle. See Anastas with O'Brien on the offense. O'Brien.
Tuttle tried to bring the ball back into the crease, which is not allowed in that period as he had come out.
Okay, so that's what the call is, in and out
of the crease, right? That's why the possession goes back over to Springfield.
Okay, so they control Savastano now at the top with Felt, Anastas, Jared Smith, and Paul Police on the offense for the Chiefs. Now Felt picking up speed, moving in, finds Police. Now Police with O'Brien on him. Police moves around. O'Brien beats O'Brien that time. Police moves in. The shot. Grab by Tuttle. Nice job by Tuttle as Police got the shot off just in time, but Tuttle was able to grab it. And now Martinez, Tom.
And that's Tuttle's forte, getting that long outlet pass off a save.
Yeah, he's an outstanding clear. Good call, Tom. Now Martinez on the far side with Goodrich. And now Goodrich setting up with Doyen just in front of him. He's got Bessio out there with him. And now here comes Vetter around the cage. Quirk sets up, Vetter pressures. A lot of pressure from Caddy. And now Bessio controls behind the net. Bessio moves around. He's watched by Flanagan. Here comes Mike. Goes back around on the sweep. Vetter, Doyen, Karanikis, Goodrich, and Muley out for the Bears along with Bessio on the offense. And now Goodrich picks up a head of steam and comes in, goes off the ground, but over Quirk and over the end line. So Vetter will track it down and bring it over with 5:42 to go in the third quarter. 11-9 lead for the Chiefs, Tom. Terrence Vetter, we mentioned those ground balls, those 141 ground balls shattering the previous record of 85 for New York Tech. Once again on the ground by Vetter, that one wide, and that's going to skip out of bounds as Goodrich gives chase.
Yeah, not only did Goodrich break the record for the ground balls gained in a year, also Peter Doyen tied a record for most goals in a game, which was 9 set last year. And also
assists, right, Tom?
Terrence Vetter had 10, all against the poor opponent, New Haven. There we go, see the graphic there.
Outstanding. That 211 goals by the Bears. Just an outstanding offensive squad Coach Kaley has assembled in only 2 years. We mentioned his record, 20-3, as they're on the attack again. Doyen this time. That time it's stripped by Jorgensen. Nice play. Ball is loose, however. Muley in. And Jorgensen is able to scoot it out for the Chiefs. Picks up the ground ball. He takes a hit from Muley, but now far side. Chiefs control. Jared Smith on another grounder for the Chiefs, picking up the loose balls. 4.5 to go in the third. Chiefs up by 2. They thwarted that last possession by the Bears, and now they're back on the attack. Dan Citrone, Jared Smith, Mark Terrio, Mark Anastas, and Paul Police on the offense for the Chiefs.
And this is another reason why the Chiefs have such a low-scoring defense against them, is that their offense passes it around a lot, wasting a lot of time too, as we have Kevin O'Brien on the steal.
That was a nice job by O'Brien stripping LeVogue on the defense. So O'Brien will go back, and now Muley up front brings it over the line. Muley around on LeVogue. Muley in front to the cage, just over the crossbar once again, Tom, going high, trying to sneak it by Quirk, that time too high, and over the restraint, over the end line.
Yeah, we can see from our angle up here perfectly, as soon as Muley made that that sprint, he broke even and then turned the corner very quickly.
And now Bessio behind the back. That's a nice save by Quirk. The ball loose and a whistle as Muley hits the ground. Back to your point, Tom.
Muley, when he went around the cage, as soon as he got even with the defender, switched and ducked under with his stick and came up with the right hand for that shot there. And then Bessio coming around the corner, put it around his back. Here we see Muley getting around the corner, switches to his right hand and just over the top. Good shot on that, guys.
Okay, so possession remains in the Bears' end. That's Goodrich on the sweep. Excuse me, Vetter. And now Bessio in the corner tracks down. 3.5 to go, 11-9 lead for the Chiefs. Bessio goes in. Bessio still on the move. Tries to elude Jorgensen. Nice play, however. Bessio gets the shot off, and he puts it in. And a flag on the play. That time a hold. It's against the Chiefs, so that will count, making the score 11-10 3:25 to go in the third. Bessio with his second goal, putting his team now down by 1.
Yeah, excuse me, Brian, that's Bessio's third goal.
That's Bessio's number 3.
As you see him, he's going to duck underneath here, and this is where he's going to draw the foul on that hold right there. So that's the third time Bessio's used that move. This time there's nobody else on Springfield to help out Flanagan. So Bessio is taking control here of the New York Tech offense, scoring one-on-one against the All-American Keith Flanagan, who bested him on one play early in the second half. But now Bessio has 3 unassisted goals here in this third quarter, and he's sparking a new life into New York Tech as they trail by just 1.
That's right, and now the Chiefs' lead is in jeopardy as Muley wins the draw against Terrio. He moves in, he's stripped by Flanagan. The ball loose, however. Veteran for the Bears, and Vetter comes away with it. He's watched by Cat. He goes behind the cage. Vetter has Doyen with him, Muley, Trampus, and Goodrich. Goodrich will go off. And now Doyen far side. He'll roll it on the ground to Bessio. As Bessio comes over the line, he picks up speed and he comes in. Bessio on the move to the cage. The shot on the ground, that's deflected by Quirk. Nice job by Quirk. Caddy on the loose ball, can't find the handle. And now Flanagan gets it, but he loses the handle. Finally, Flanagan with the long stick picks up the ground ball, and he outlets to Terrio. Terrio now downfield. He's got 3 teammates with him. Terrio goes all the way down. He finds Police. Police to Smith. Smith's shot is deflected, and that goes over the end line. The Chiefs will retain with 2:19 to go. 11-10, the Chiefs lead.
Yeah, that fast break led by Terrio there, he had a full 35-yard advantage, so he could have taken as much time as he wanted. Springfield came up with a good shot, just a little bit high off the top of the pipe, or Tuttle's stick got up there. I couldn't really tell at the speed of the shot, but they had plenty of time to get that shot off there.
So just over 2 minutes to go in the third. The Chiefs back on the attack. That shot deflected by Tuttle. Nice job. And now the Chiefs, Dan Daly tracks down. Dan, number 12, goes across to Savastano. That's deflected right in front by Goodrich. Nice job by Goodrich blocking that shot as a flag comes in on the near side, stopping the action with 1:55 to go. We wait and get word. Looks like it's against the Bears, Tom, no?
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the call was, because I saw Brian Trampus level a would-be shooter before the shot got up. Maybe he brought his elbow up too high. Maybe that was the indication. As the referee turned his back to me.
Get a look.
Here we
right
go.
now,
We see
Tom.
Brian Trampus, number 36. Boom. Oh, yeah, check to the head.
That's
You
a
can't do
minute.
that. The elbow to the head is the call.
So 1 minute now for the Chiefs with a big opportunity to go up again by 2. That's Dan Citrone. Can't find the handle behind the cage. Goes over the line, and the Bears retain the possession. Hour 11-10. They trail by 1. 1:43 to go in the third. Action is much quicker here in the third quarter. And now Goodrich comes down, takes a shot by Police, but he continues to control. He finds McManus. McManus, a nice move around Jorgensen. McManus to the cage, around the neck, around the back. Nothing going on as it skips over the end line. Vetter is there. Nice move by McManus that time.
Yeah,
Tom.
certainly
Losing
was.
his man.
Good recognition. You're absolutely right, Brian. As soon as he saw his man and overcommitted, he reacted the other way and spun with his left hand. Quite a move by Dennis McManus, showing ambidexterity there.
So now Vetter will slow things down, setting up just under a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. They trail by 1, do the Bears. Terrence Vetter backing his man in, but he's pushed out by Caddy. Caddy now poking him with the stick. And another whistle as a glove is down on the field. That's Terrence's glove. He picks it up, puts it on, and will reset with the Bears controlling.
So if we can draw a conclusion, if your shoelace is untied, you don't get timeout. But if your glove comes off, you do get timeout from the official. Okay, we need a clarification on that.
Okay.
Now we know.
All right, so now the ball in the hands of Terrence Vetter once again. He comes in, tries to find Doyen, but Doyen that time slow to the ball, so it goes over the line on the far side, and that'll give the Chiefs the ball. Doyen a little bit slow with the shoulder maybe.
Yeah.
Right-handed shooter, right-handed separated shoulder, so we'll see how that affects the Bears and Doyen's performance in the fourth quarter. We have 54 seconds to go in the third.
Okay, with that last statement, Brian, all of a sudden here comes Richard Stout, who is a freshman, who is a backup to Doyen. maybe Pete Dorian has seen the last of his action for the day because...
That's right. It looks like he was hurt on that attempt to grab that pass from Vetter.
And
we'll see.
And he has been tentative all day. You are absolutely right. Although a big heart, he did want to play as much as he could, as hard as he could. But there are certain levels of pain.
Okay, so now Savastano with the spin move. Felt in front, can't find the handle. Now it comes out to Bromby, but over the line. It's going to be Bears ball.
New York Tech's defense has been so much more alive. They're on top of everybody. They're getting to their man, and Springfield isn't allowed to just stand around with the ball, passing it amongst themselves.
And that was a great hustle by Goodrich too, Tom.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. That's all part of it. That's what it takes.
So with 20 seconds to go here in the third.
As we get a look at Arante walking the ball up for Tech.
The Chiefs lead by 1. As you see NCAA written on the grass. It's a Division II championship game. Now Trampus will move in with the long stick. Finds Karanikis. Karanikis has been quiet today, usually a high score. Another whistle stopping the... that's it. Time has expired in the third. I lost track of the time. That'll do it after 3. 11-10, the Chiefs lead. This game is being telecast on the rights granted by the NCAA. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game without the express written consent of the NCAA and New York Tech is prohibited. All announcers, production, and technical personnel used on this broadcast are students of New York Institute of Technology in Old Westbury. You get a look at our score and some of our happy fans as their team has climbed back into this contest. They trail by only 1. Beautiful day. As Tom said, no clouds as we see the salute sign.
Okay, and just a quick rundown of the scoring for that quarter. Flanagan scored for Springfield, making it a 10-5 lead. That was an unassisted goal, and Rarity and the defenseman scored it. And then Bessio scored his first goal of the day for New York Tech, unassisted, to make it 10-6. Bob Felt came back on a great feed from Paul Polisi to make it 11-6 in a man-down situation. Oh, no, excuse me, that was not a man-down situation for New York Tech. Vetter then came back unassisted for Tech, making 11-7. Vetter scored again, this time on an assist from Muley as Tech came down on a fast break, 11-8. And then 2 consecutive unassisted goals by Mike Bessio has brought the score to 11-10. So if you go period by period, Tech was down 5-1 after 1. Then they were still down by 4 at the end of the first half of play, 9-5. So they kind of found their offense. But in that quarter, they won 5-2. And they're starting to, they more than have started, they have definitely creeped back into this game here. And I believe they have found the philosophy that's going to work for them.
That's right, and oddly enough, Tom, seems like 10 has been the magic number for Springfield all season long. They lost 2 games, and in both those games, they gave up 14 goals. They gave up 10 in only 1 more game. They managed to win that game. But 10 is the magic number for the Springfield D. If they can hold their opponents under 10, they seem to be successful. So now Terrio controls the draw. He moves in. Jared Smith behind the cage. Trampus hounds him, knocks it loose. Nice job by Trampus. And now Goodrich again on the loose ball, far side. He comes out, goes across the field, finds Bessio. Bessio can't pick up the initial ground ball, and it's still loose. And Bessio and Muley in on the fight for the ground ball. Vetter comes away with it.
I think we're going to have an outstanding quarter of action here at the NCAA Division II championship game as these two teams are fired up.
That's right. He just has that feeling. That shot deflected. Nice shot by McManus, but a nice save by Quirk. So now they'll clear Troy Graham near side. That's right. The excitement is building now with 14 minutes to go in the final quarter. 11-10, the Chiefs lead. They move in. Bob Felt on the ground. Nice save by Tuttle right in the breadbasket. And now O'Brien with the long stick on the far side. He'll try to clear. He's a great clearing defenseman. Looks like he wants a man across the field. He finds him. That's Arante with another long stick, another defenseman. Arante will move it over the line. He's got Vetter behind the cage, as usual. Terrence right there. And he loses it, and it goes out of bounds. And it is the Bears' ball as Vetter will bring it in. He has Bessio right there with him. Bessio will bring it in. He'll use it and go to Vetter with 13:33 to go. Final quarter. Again, the Chiefs up by a slim margin, 1 goal. As Tom said, the Bears, they brought the offensive weapons out in the second half. The third quarter, they win the quarter 5-2, and it's now 11-10. Bessio behind the cage, moves in. He's pressured by Flanagan. Again, Bessio can't elude Flanagan, but he gets in, however. Flags from all directions, and that's going to be a flag against Flanagan, I believe, as Bessio once again took a seat on the grass. That stops the clock. 13:15 to go in the fourth quarter. 11-10 lead for the Chiefs, so Flanagan will go off along with Liam Sullivan, number 18.
Yeah, Mike Bessio, this is the third penalty he has drawn against Springfield in the second half alone, as we get a look at the tail end of the play as Bessio is getting knocked from behind.
That's right. See Flanagan with his stick up asking the official why me, but Flanagan obviously pushing Bessio down just outside the crease, so Bears retain Bessio. He'll set things up for his teammates. He's got Karanikis. Doyen back in, Tom, for the Bears. Muley. That shot by McManus, that's deflected by Quirk nicely, so Quirk tries to clear, and he does. He gets it far side to Klepacki. And that's moved down to Caddy. Now Caddy moves it in. Here comes Caddy. He finds Smith. Smith deflected off of Tuttle's stick and over the crossbar. So that went over the end line, and Anastas will chase it for the Chiefs. He'll bring it in.
Oh, that was a great scoring opportunity for Springfield right there. They had all the time in the world, and they rushed a shot, and they took a crank low shot instead of taking a high one and bounced it. Jared Smith, that was.
Okay, so Chiefs once again. Bob Felt, who's been quiet in the second half, on for the Chiefs. He goes across to Savastano, who had the 5 goals in the first game. Nick moving in. He's pressured by McManus. Nice job by Dennis. And now Karanikis, who's also been quiet for the Bears, pressures Smith, and now Felt will get a hand in the action once again. He's watched by Martinez, who just checked into the game. Felt will go back to Citrone, who's up top and watched by O'Brien. Citrone goes over the line and now back in. Finds Savastano to Anastas. Quick shot. Again, Felt. That comes out to Felt, and Felt puts it in, putting the Chiefs back up by 2. Just over 12 to play, Tom.
Yeah, an unfortunate bounce for New York Tech there, and a fortunate one for Springfield. As Anastas's quick stick right in front of the cage was stopped by Tuttle. Felt's rebound with one hand, he put it over Tuttle's stick right there.
Okay, here we get a look. 3 players touched the stick, and the last player, Bob Felt, putting it in and putting his squad up by 2. So the captain, just as I said, he was quiet here in the second half, puts one in. And now the Chiefs with Terrio once again control.
Mark Terrio, number 11, with the faceoff.
And the Chiefs quickly move in. That's loose, picked up by Goodrich. Who else but Eugene Goodrich picking up the ground ball. That'll stop the clock, however, as if there's a whistle. It's against Springfield, so the Bears will retain. Tom, why don't we throw it down to Rich D'Elia, who has a scoop on Tech's outstanding comeback here in the second half. Take it away, Rich. Rich. We saw Springfield quickly on the attack. They put another one in, now up by 3, Tom.
Yeah, Paul Polisi was right on the left-hand point of the crease there, wide open. And he had all the time in the world to get it past Tuttle. There was absolutely no help at all. Tuttle's signaling right now towards the bench for something. We can't exactly determine out what it is as we get a look at there. Polisi had all the time in the world, wide open there on the crease.
So now once again a little bit more room between the Bears and the Chiefs, as the Chiefs again up by 3. 2:29 of the fourth, that score coming from. We apologize for the technical difficulties. If you just returned, it's just under 10 minutes to go. 13-10 lead for the Chiefs, and the Bears on the move. Now Vetter can't find that one as it skips over the end line, and the possession arrow will go Springfield's way.
Eugene Goodrich trying to hit better behind the cage there on a long pass. It was a good idea, just a little bit out of reach for Vetter.
What a way to play a championship game, Tom. If you could write down and script this game, you could write it no better way. It's been highly contested here in the second half by both squads. It's still a ball game, 13-10. Bears still in this game as Goodrich comes in. He's pressured by Savastano, makes a spin move. Savastano's still on him. He takes a hit, goes down, no whistle. Bessio, the ball is loose. He can't find the handle. And Savastano comes away. He finds Felt on the outlet. Felt now breaking down. He has Staley to his left. He goes up front to Jared Smith, who takes a hit, no call. That hit by Trampus, obviously clean. Nice job by Trampus. And Tech takes over as it goes over the end line.
Yeah, now Tech has 9 minutes left to get up 3 goals, but Tech has fallen back into that pattern of holding onto the ball just a little bit longer than they should. I'm talking about each one of the offensive guys. They got to create something for somebody else.
That's right. It looks like they had grabbed the momentum late in the third quarter, but now Springfield taking it right back here to start the fourth. We have just under 9 to play as Bessio moves in. He's watched again by Flanagan. That shot deflected by Quirk to the left. And the ball is loose as McManus is on for the Bears. Still loose. Bessio in. Mule and Doyen. And a whistle stopping the action.
Yeah, we got a push on Springfield, pushing Nick Torre into the cage there. So New York Tech will retain possession once again. Bessio on his last move when he spun and came to the middle, didn't get the ball back on the ground. Shot it right into Quirk's chest. That was not even a save. Quirk couldn't have gotten out of the way if he wanted to of that one. Bessio's got to get back on the ground. Here we go.
Okay, we'll see what they do with Vetter, Bessio, Torre, Mule, Doyen, and McManus on. Bessio, that shot. A crease violation apparently, so that'll turn it over to Springfield with just under 8.5 minutes to go. The Chiefs lead by 3. They're holding on as Flanagan will bring it up the near side. He's watched by Bessio. That's been a great matchup to watch. It seems like Flanagan won the first half matchup and Bessio's gotten his licks in here in the second half. But this game not over yet. We have 8 minutes to play. Bears trail by 3 now. The Chiefs control as Mark Anastas moves in. He's watched by O'Brien. Anastas slowing things down. He goes to Felt up top. Bob loses it. Ball's still loose. And Bob's going to lose the handle. The ground ball eventually. Still kicked around. Picked up by Flanagan. Flanagan takes the seat again. A hit by Trampus, who's playing rough. And now a break. And the shot. And the score by Vetter as Quirk falls down in the crease and Vetter scores on the breakaway, making it 13-11 in favor of the Chiefs. 7:42 to play, Tom.
Yeah, New York Tech needed that break, as we see right outside. Vetter taking it in with the high deke and then coming down low as Quirk makes a gallant effort. But Vetter was up to the task, and the quick deke around the head and then down low with the shot. Classic shot by Terrence.
That's right, so Vetter beating the defense. That loose ball kicked around in the neutral area for a while. Trampus laying a hit on Flanagan, no call made, and Vetter quickly ran into the offensive zone, scooped it up, and put the shot past Quirk. So Springfield leads by 2. Timeout called by the Bears as we have 7:42 to play time in the fourth quarter. Okay, Brian Evie and Tom Judge here with you at the CW Post Campus, Long Island University. Again, the Chiefs lead by 2, 13-11. We have 7:15 to play here in the fourth quarter. The Bears on the attack. Robert Arante, near side, moves in with the long stick. He goes around the cage. He has Vetter, Bessio, McManus, Mule, and Doyen out there with the separated shoulder. That one goes off Quirk and over the end line, so the Bears will retain, Tom.
Yeah, nobody picked up Arante when he came down, so as a defenseman, he's got to make a choice, and he made the choice to take a shot on goal. Wasn't a bad idea with Bessio behind the cage.
Okay, so time running out for the Bears, Tom. We have under 7 minutes to play. They trail by 2. The fans cheering them on, trying to motivate them. Bessio moves in toward the cage. Again, he's pressured by Flanagan. Keith Flanagan doing a great job today. Bessio gets it off, however, and scores, making it 13-12 in favor of Springfield. We have 6.5 to play. Mike Bessio that time beating Flanagan for the first time clearly this afternoon.
Yeah, that's his 4th unassisted goal of the second half. The first one of the 4th quarter here, and it couldn't have come at a more opportune time. Here we see it again. Goalie Quirk came out of the cage for there, but look at the defenseman.
That time just beat him right there around the perfect pivot that time.
And Flanagan didn't have help coming around as the two Springfield defensemen had their back to the play and weren't in position to help with Bessio.
So Terrio once again winning these face-offs. Muley continues to pressure him, however, near side, and a whistle as Muley pushed Mark down onto the turf. So Terrio will get the ball, and the Chiefs control. Terrio goes all the way across. He has Savastano now, who will set things up on the offense. The Chiefs lead by 1. We have 6 minutes to play in the 4th quarter of this Division II National Championship game. Brian Evie along with Tom Judge at the CW Post campus here on Long Island University in Brookville. The Chiefs continue to apply the pressure to the Bears here in the 4th quarter, but on the other side, the Bears do the same to Sean Quirk. That time, the Chiefs lose the handle, and the Bears will take over.
Yeah, Springfield's starting to play a little tentative now, making mistakes, unforced errors. That's just letting New York Tech stay right in this game and presenting them with the opportunity for victory here. We see Arante walking the ball up to midfield.
Okay, and Tuttle now all the way out. As we know, an outstanding clearing goalie. Does fine work with the stick. He has Arante now near side. Arante with McManus now. McManus on the sweep all the way around. Got Bessio out there. McManus now toward the cage. He backs off. Bears make a quick change as Torrey goes back on D. And now Doyen. Doyen moves in. The shot just wide of Quirk, and that'll sneak over the line. Doyen once again down on the dirt. In obvious pain, using his stick to help him get up off the ground. So Doyen using the stick as a crutch.
Yeah, but Doyen also fell into the crease there, so that's why New York Tech didn't retain possession after that shot there.
So it's cleared by Quirk all the way down. Nice clear as Anastas is on. He's pressured, however, by Tuttle, who's all the way out.
They have
Arante's in the goal. Arante in the goal. Savastano on. Jared Smith, the shot past Arante, and the score. Once again, the Chiefs up by 2. That time they beat Robert Arante. Tim Tuttle all the way out by the line. Robert Arante went in to defend, and he was beat by Smith. 4:54 to go. The Chiefs again up by 2.
Yeah, New York Tech got caught on that long outlet pass. We see Savastano here with Smith all alone. Defense coming in behind Tuttle, but to no avail, a little bit late. But the actual play happened on that long clearing pass. New York Tech sent 3 guys after the ball, and Anastas came away with it, leading to a fast break for Springfield as they had the numbers.
So once again, these face-offs, as the game progresses, get more and more critical. Muley again losing to Terrio. Terrio far side. He moves in. He eludes defenders, gets it off, and the shot by Anastas goes in. And now the Chiefs up by 3. They lead 15-12. Just over 4.5 minutes to play, Tom.
Great stick work by Anastas as he's in the middle of the field. He got checked a couple of times. Yeah, and off the great field by Terrio, too. Terrio hit Anastas right in the middle of the crease there. And once he was checked a couple of times, Anastas had to look into his stick to see if it was, as we see right here, he gets checked a couple of times, sees that he still has it, and says, oh, I think I'll shoot, and beats Tuttle.
So Terrio setting up that play for Anastas. Once again, we get a look at the crowd rooting on their Bears. Very spirited crowd here at CW Post campus. Their Bears, however, trail 15-3. The Bears are the host squad in today's championship game. Obviously, New York Tech is right next door to CW Post. But on the offensive end now, Bessio and O'Brien lose the handle, and there's a whistle as Flanagan and Bessio got into a little bit of a shouting match that time on the field, so the Bears retain. It'll be Bessio, again with Flanagan on him.
They're going to go to isolation against Bessio and having cutters come off a screen or two.
We'll see how that works for the Chiefs D as Bessio once again is dumped by Flanagan into the crease, and a flag comes. That's going to be against Flanagan, so the Bears will be up a man for 30 seconds. There's 4:09 to play in the final quarter. Bears trail by 3, 15-12. Springfield continually applying pressure. The Bears, every time it seems like they sneak back in, Springfield puts themselves up by 2 or 3 goals, so keeping enough distance between themselves and the Bears. Chiefs doing a fine job this afternoon, Tom.
Absolutely. Springfield dug a hole for New York Tech by going ahead 5-1 early on, and Tech hasn't climbed back out of that hole. But that's the 4th time Bessio has drawn a penalty against a Springfield player in the second half here.
Okay, so now 4 crucial minutes left for the Bears. Karanikis, that one wide.
As Karanikis came with the sidearm shot here, instead of coming overhand, he was able to get checked.
You see Coach Kaley, he has under 4 minutes to score 4 goals and put his team up and win a national championship. Now Vetter, Karanikis, that one's stripped by Caddy, and now it's loose. Karanikis gives chase along with Jorgensen for the Chiefs. It's still loose. Jorgensen on, and Vetter picks it up, but no. Comes out to Karanikis, and now Ian, he'll move it over the line and in for the Bears. And now Vetter, back to Muley. Muley, the shot grabbed out of the air by Quirk, so nice job by Quirk. Muley staying in the air, Quirk snatching that. 3:18 to play, 15-12 lead for the Chiefs. Again, a long clear, and it comes down just in front of Anastas as he takes a hit by O'Brien. That skips over the line. It'll be Tech ball, Tom.
Yeah, Quirk just cheaped it down the field. They're just trying to run out the clock there. It's going to take an extra 20 seconds or so for Tech to come back up in the offensive end.
So the Bears move all the way up as Tuttle clears another whistle. That's an offsides against the Bears. So Springfield will pick up the ball as the Bears.
What a mental mistake. That was an unforced error.
This is unbelievable now.
That hurts a lot there.
There's just no reason for that. With just under 3 minutes to play and offsides. So that'll take more time off the clock for the Bears, giving Springfield yet another opportunity as Mark Anastas moves in. He fakes a shot, goes to Jared Smith, but Smith can't grab the ball, and it skips out over the line. So now actually nice save made by Savastano, keeping it in. But the Bears are there as Hutchinson. And now the ball is loose, and now Eugene Goodrich will pick it up once again. Coming in, Eugene. He goes to his left to find Vetter. Vetter to Doyen. Doyen can't grab it. Doyen having problems with the stick today. Every time he wants to put his stick up, it seems like he's having problems with his shoulder. So the Chiefs take over. 2:15 to play. They lead by 3. That clear by Quirk. Nice. Comes out to Anastas, and now he moves over the line. Bears get back quickly, but Anastas will slow things down, Tom.
Yeah, Springfield, time for them to take some time off this clock.
Ooh, Jared Smith takes a hit, no call, and that one's swiped away by Arante. So Arante, he'll bring it down. Ooh, nice play made by police, no call, almost stripping the ball, but Arante holds on. Just under 2 minutes to go for the Bears. They need 3 to tie. Here comes Arante. He's watched by Daly. Arante backs off. He finds Vetter. Vetter the shot again. A nice save by Quirk. And Quirk will look to clear. Quirk continues to shut the door on the Bears here in the closing minutes of this NCAA Division II National Championship game. Springfield up by 3. They move back in on the offense. Savastano pressured by 2. Bears, and the whistle going against the Bears, and that'll turn it over. Going against the Chiefs. That'll turn it over to the Bears, and a timeout.
That's it.
No timeout, just a turnover. With 1:22 to go, Tom, the Bears need 3 to tie.
The timeout is on the field for New York Tech. That's what the referee was calling there. 1:22 left. New York Tech is down by 3 as Springfield has come on once again on goals by Anastas and Smith after Bessio had tied it up 13-12.
Okay, Tom. Desperation time now for the Bears. With a lot of seniors on this squad and the possibility of Mike Bessio transferring, this could be their only shot with this squad to win a championship. They have About a minute and a half to do it. They need 3 goals to tie. They trail 15-12. We'll see what happens as we get a look at this replay. Vetter with the shot. That's the last save by Quirk. A nice save as Vetter went to the ground. That's been successful for the Bears as well as the Chiefs this afternoon, but that time Quirk making the save. You see the fans, the Springfield section of the stands, rooting on their Chiefs for another minute and 22. They'll go back to New England with a national championship out of Division II. So 1:22 remaining. There's been plenty of outstanding players in this game, but with 1:22 to go, a tremendous impact can still be made on this game as the Bears trail by 3. Tim Tuttle will bring it out for the home squad. He'll look to clear. Arante on the wing. He finds Arante. Arante moves in with the stick. The shot off the ground wide. Vetter behind the net. He can't find a handle, and the Chiefs bring it back. 1 minute to play. Division II National Championship. The Chiefs are up by 3 and time running out for the host Bears. The Chiefs bring it in. Jared Smith behind the cage. He's got police in front. Sullivan. Jared Smith takes a hit from Trampus, who's been physical all day. Now it goes over the end line as O'Brien gives chase. And the Bears will look to clear. O'Brien does that. Finds Bessio over the midline. Bessio can't control. And it comes out to the Chiefs with 45 seconds to go, Tom.
Yeah, New York Tech is desperate here, to say the least. It looks like time's going to run out.
And, it looks like it's going to do it as Sullivan and Jared Smith move in. It's 30 seconds to go. Springfield will win their first ever Division II National Championship. Head coach Keith Bugby has assembled an outstanding squad of athletes. Another opportunity by Anastas, turned away that time. Strong defense by Trampus. 9 seconds to go here, Tom. And the Springfield bench very excited as they have won a Division II National Championship. That'll do it, Tom. The 1994, as you hear on PA announce, the National Championships out of Division II. The Springfield Chiefs have defeated the New York Tech Bears by a score of 15-12.
New York Tech never did get out of that hole that was dug for them in the first period, as Springfield got off to that early 5-1 lead and held on. Let me recap the fourth quarter scoring with Vetter. Actually, let's just go to the